Hi, I'm Joel. I'm the director of CodeBreak, a marketing agency based in Shropshire. We work with ChadStone as our accountants, have done for quite a while. So before we met ChadStone, I've worked with a number of accountants, so I have more companies than just CodeBreak. One of my companies was a design agency prior to forming CodeBreak, and we'd had a few problems with accountants in the past. Things where there wasn't sort of clear lines whether we should be communicating with HMRC or they would. Never quite sure kind of whose role was who, so I felt like I was doing a lot of bookkeeping. I knew way more than I should about kind of QuickBooks Online and Xero and stuff like that, and it just didn't feel very business efficient. So I met ChadStone through Dave Ledington, who works for them. He hammered me for quite a while saying, why don't you just come to ChadStone, why don't you just come to ChadStone? And so Rob Chatterton at ChadStone actually used to work with me, and I knew Dave as well, and I'm friends with Dave's brother. And the little concern that I had was that taking something as private as your accounts and bookkeeping, so your personal tax return, your two companies' accounts, to people who you're friendly with, maybe that's not the wisest move. But the more I saw how they operated and the more I saw how they work with other companies and their approach to business and their approach to accounting and just sort of how transparent and how kind of simple they make everything, it was an easy choice. So initially ChadStone came out to see us and they allayed all of our fears. They were like, well, we don't understand why you've been dealing with HMRC, we'll do that for you. We'll do your bookkeeping for you. We'll make sure you're all ready for making tax digital. We'll sort you out in terms of your personal tax returns. Everything will kind of flow. We'll set up alerts at our end, so you're never having to prompt us for, you know, your annual return or all that kind of stuff. And it just immediately was like a sigh of relief. It was really nice. Working with ChadStone has really transformed our business in terms of I'm no longer stuck in the books. So that's a huge relief for me. I can kind of go and do business, build the business, generate more prospects, more sales, and I don't have to worry about kind of the admin behind that, and also if it's being done properly, if the VAT's right, if the payroll's right, if the PAYE's gone out properly, all these things that they're there to help with, and they just do without me having to ask. It sounds like kind of the basics, but then that really sort of takes the weight off. Having worked with ChadStone for a while now, we've seen really awesome results for our business. So they're just really common sense with how they do everything. They really get into our business. They understand what we're about. They understand why we do things, how we do them. They make sure our books are always up to date, so we can always see a live shot of where we stand at any given point in terms of our profit and loss. And then as a side to that, they do loads locally for Shropshire businesses. So they have their own networking events. They do young people's networking. They put on events like charity quizzes. They hire the cinema at Christmas to do a Christmas screening, and it's stuff our team can get involved in. It really kind of good for us as a business to just be involved in all these nice things ChadStone do. So moving forward with our accounts, obviously our business is growing really healthily, really well. We're on track with a lot of things, and so I imagine our relationship with ChadStone is just going to develop further. They're certainly going to have a bit more payroll to do in the future, and I think, you know, as things progress and hopefully we move into our own premises that we own rather than lease, then there's going to be some work there that we need to work with ChadStone on, and yeah, we just wouldn't look anywhere else. So I'm usually really kind of reticent to recommend or refer other businesses. I've been burnt in the past with that kind of thing, but ChadStone are one business I 100% would recommend. They've been revolutionary for our business. They've really helped. They are really nice to deal with. They're nice people. Everyone from the apprentices right through to the owners are just top people, and it should make life easier. You know, if you're outsourcing part of your business, be it accounting, bookkeeping, it should make life easier. And with them, it really does. And they think of things that we don't. So why wouldn't we?